Hello, my name is Emily Rose, and I teach tarot readers and the mystically minded to read Lenormand like they're talking to a friend. And today we are here to explore everything you need to know about the Tower card in Lenormand. Let's go ahead and get started. If you are a tarot reader, this can be one of the trickier cards to interpret in Lenormand because it has a quite different meaning than it does in tarot. So in Lenormand, the Tower card tends to represent an organization, institution, bureaucracy, things like that. And it makes sense why when you really think about what a tower is and what its purpose is. Typically, a tower is built to withstand things, and it's usually not just built by one person or one individual. It's usually built as a representative or an extension of an institution, organization, monarchy, something like that. And when we think about the Tower card, it's typically standing alone and it's tall above the ground. And so you can kind of see over everything in the land, make observations, so you know what's going on in that kingdom, or in modern days, what's happening in that city. If we are in a work context, then the tower can represent a larger institution or corporation. It can also represent bureaucracy, red tape, regulations and rules, things that you must abide by. Another meaning for the Tower card, and if you're asking about the type of profession someone is in, it can represent the legal system as well. If I am asking a question about a legal situation, then I typically will charge or assign meaning to the tower to represent the legal process, just kind of putting extra intention to that card. So when it pops up, I know exactly what it's referencing there. And the tower, if you think about it, it's kind of the perfect legal card, because if you talk about the epitome of rules and regulations, government, things like that, the legal system is one of the core representations of that. And it's also one of the main meanings for this card that I come back to again and again. If we are in a love context, this is where the tower can get a little bit interesting. If we're talking about sex specifically, this can literally represent a phallus, basically. It can represent that part of male anatomy there. And on kind of a less sexual note, it can also represent being single. If you're asking about someone's relationship status, and then you get the tower and the heart in the tower, some combination like that, could show that they are single. This also, if you're in like a marriage context or something like that, you could also see the tower as feeling siloed, or like you're not together with your partner, you're not on the same page. There may be some isolation happening there. And where that isolation meaning comes from is because a tower is typically on its own, right? It's its own kind of building or institution. So when I see this in a marriage or something like that, I can usually tell that there's some type of siloing or isolation happening. If you are in an advice context, then the tower could ask you to formalize what it is that you're doing. So what I mean by that is maybe you have like a side business or a side hustle or something like that, and you ask for advice and you get the tower, then it could say, hey, maybe it's time to make your business legal. Maybe it's time to systematize this project. Maybe it's time to actually give it a title, give it a name, right? The tower is about formalizing it and making it something that can stand on its own. Also, that leads into the other kind of piece of advice that the tower can give, which is it's time to do this on your own, potentially. It may say that you need to do this alone, and that would be the best way to do it. So depending on your context, that will inform what the advice will be from the Tower card. If you would like to explore Lenormand even more, I do have a free 3 lesson mini course that you can take at any time. It also comes with a free workbook, and you can find that at emilyrosedivination.com/mini course. I will also link it down below as well. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can be in the know whenever a new video comes out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.